Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Stacks888, and today in Behind the Raps we have your mother's favorite fighter, Lezra Gomez, man. All right, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, obviously, your mother's favorite fighter. You're well known in the scene, and that finally got you opportunity on CFL against Big Sam. Tell me about that fight.
Man, I've been calling for this Big Sam fight for almost 2 years now. We've been in negotiations plenty of times in the past to fight on Breakout, DKM Plush, and all these other promotions in between. Every time, not on my end, the fight always fell through. Negotiations never happened. Um, so I knew eventually I just needed to show up to one of his fights, show face, show that I'm serious about this and that I'm not just some Twitter troll. So I seen he was fighting Cake Paul on CFL 3. Both guys have been calling out for the longest time in the scene. Both fights are big fights for the entire community. So I went there. Talked to CFL before I went there. I was told that I was going to get the winner of Cake Paul and Big Sam. To the point where I was going to be able to go into the ring after their
Oh,
fight, do a face off and everything. So I show up to CFL. Me and Big Sam have a little confrontation, if you call it. We had a little face off. Me and Cake Paul didn't talk at all the whole week. He kind of just did his own shit, stayed away from me. And then the fight night happened. I was at literally ringside for their fight. I watched everything happen. Big Sam got embarrassed. He hit the cameras about 4 or 5 times. Cake Paul took the decision, and I was sitting ringside waiting for my name to be called. He called up Chase the Moore. I got pissed off, so I was like, "Look, obviously Cake Paul gonna keep ducking me, right? I need to show something to get Cake Paul, like to put myself on Cake Paul's radar." So I was like, cool, fuck the winner. Let me just go for Big Sam, the loser, whatever you want to call it, right? So I was talking to AT, Heather Aces, all them. I was like, look, this is a massive fight. Like the numbers gonna show it. Like the fight's been brewing for 2 years in the community, whatever, whatever. And at first they didn't put it on. They put Big Sam on against, I think the guy name was Eric or some other guy. And I got offered to fight this Christian rapper named Bryson Gray for CFL 4. We both agreed to different opponents. And once Big Sam's fight got announced on Instagram, the whole comment section was flooded with, "No, fuck this. We need Lezra versus Big Sam. Lezra versus Big Sam. Lezra versus Big Sam." To the point where they deleted his fight announcement, and I'm texting them like, "Yo,
damn.
did Big Sam pull out? What's going on? Da 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 da." And then the next day, I get hit up. "All right, you're fighting Big Sam." So boom. You know what I'm saying? Something I've been calling for forever now, and it just so happened to fall into my lap short notice. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was going in the CFL, same card as Big Sam against another opponent, and CFL seen the numbers and the draw that the fight between me and Big Sam had. So it was undeniable, and here we are
Yeah.
today. You know what I'm saying? Prepping for this fight.
Yeah, man. Obviously, it's a massive fight because I remember when the fight first got announced, everyone was quote tweeting and commenting about
Yes,
finally
sir.
this and that. And yeah, man. So if you do, hypothetically, when
Mhm.
you beat Big Sam, are you planning to apply pressure to get that Cake Paul fight?
Oh, of course. My Sam after I said my Sam. My goal after Big Sam, obviously after beating him, is one of two things. I want either the Cake Paul fight on whatever platform I can get, or hopefully I make a good enough statement in that fight with the right people who are present, and I get that call to Misfits. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Misfits was never really the plan. I know a lot of people see how I talk about them to them on Twitter. Um, like I said, Misfits was never the plan, but after the Intrepid fight, I've had a lot of talks with a lot of people, a lot of higher ups within the scene. And with this fight coming into my lap, I think it's time. I think I got the backing for it. I don't quite have the numbers quite yet to be a solidified Misfits fighter, but I got the backing. I got the support. Each fight I have does crazy numbers. My last fight with Intrepid got over 80,000 views on it collectively. You know what I mean? So I think it's time. And with a good enough performance on CFL 4, my promo is already shown for it. I hear every day from CFL, you're doing great promo, keep it up, this, that, this, that. So I know on that aspect, boom, I'm grade A, I'm top notch, upper echelon. It's just the fights, you know what I mean? So with a big enough platform on CFL 4, the big performance, I think Misfits is Sorry.
That's
I
cool.
think Misfits is undoubtable at that point.
Yeah, obviously, at the last CFO event, we saw your boy Divine win, and he had that talk with
Mm.
Mams. So he's pretty much on the prelims. That's pretty much confirmed. So what I'm from what I'm hearing, you want the same result.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's obviously what's on your mind right now. But if you don't mind me asking about your fight that we're gonna be on, Sword Seven, with Drake
Yep.
Harris and Waffle. Tell me
Yes,
about
sir.
those.
So unfortunately, due to the Big Sam fight, I'm no longer participating on Sword Seven. Um, Obviously, just focus on the bigger opportunities. But to give a little insight in that fight, the Waffle fight is a SCB legacy fight that once again that's been brewing for years. Literally, the reason why I joined Twitter was to call out Waffle for a fight. So it's been brewing since day one, literally since day one. Hopefully, sometime soon in the future, that fight can happen. Like I said, it's an SCB legacy fight. It's as big as me and Big Sam, just on a smaller scale. You know what I mean? And then Drake Harris, that there's not much storyline to it. He was supposed to fight on CQIF in the past. I'm pretty sure it was on the same card that you debuted on. He pulled out, and he was just talking a lot of shit to me, my friends, and Breakout in general, just saying how we're unprofessional and he has all these big opportunities. He don't need us. Da 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 da. He pulls out. He goes on to do some baseball field MMA fight. He gets beat the fuck up, and he's looking for redemption. And
Yeah.
I just had my big fight against Intrepid on Breakout 5, and knowing that I have a CFO fight coming up potentially, wasn't confirmed at the time. I was like, you know what? I just need to stay active fight. There was no decent names at the time other than DDK, who was really in talks for me to fight. So I was like, you know what? This Drake Harris guy, although he's not a good fighter, there's a bit of a storyline, bit of shit talking. So I figured the promo wise, we'd kill it. And for the while that it was announced, I think we did really good. Our promo, I think we had a lot of people interested in the fight, whether that's because of our back and forth or just me in general. But yeah, just little insights on those. Little beef with Drake that I was gonna settle, and then Waffle SCB legacy fight that hopefully one day in the future will come to fruition.
All right. Yeah. So obviously, after you canceled those fights to fight Big Sam, it was Drake Harris versus Intrepid. Obviously, we all
Mhm.
know now that Drake Harris pulls out. I know with you being a matchmaker for a breakout, and I don't know if you're involved with Sword Seven at all with matchmaking. You might be, but
Yes, sir.
how frustrating is that to have a fight confirmed and everything posters, and just for someone to pull out?
Man, it's I could say it's definitely very stressful, especially nowadays. Um, when the scene first started, there was a whole flex of people who wanted opportunities. And a lot of those guys were just not real. They didn't really want it. They weren't up to the test. So I got to learn very early on in the process of like how to deal with the pullouts and stuff like that. So currently, I still I still get still stressful. I still get mad and upset. But now for how much we built our brand and stuff, it's kind of, I don't want to say easy, but it's definitely more doable now with pullouts, last minute pullouts. There's always somebody who's willing to take the very last minute fight. Just give a quick shout out to Love Life Zach. For example, Breakout 03, Wonder pulled out the day before the fight. It was about 15 hours notice against Grimvis. Wonder pulled out, and we was searching for a fight for Grimvis because he'd drive it all that way for a fight. And we just found the guy, Love Life Zach, on Twitter. He hit us up like, "Yo, I'll make this 15-hour drive. I'll come
Damn.
there and fight." Da 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 da. I thought he was bullshitting, but I was like, "Look, if you come, you fight. Simple as that." But I didn't think he was gonna show. I thought he was bullshit. Next day, we show up for fight day, and guess who the first person to walk in the room is?
Hey
Random
man.
guy named Love Life Zach who made that 15-hour drive. He fought on no sleep and he won. And then now he's fighting for a title on this upcoming event. So just to bring it back into the original question, yeah, pullouts are very stressful, and you know what I'm saying, it definitely affects the business, especially if it's very short notice. But there's been so many good things that's come from these pullouts, whether it's been like big fights that's happened, crazy upsets, or just new people coming into the scene who get started off these late notice fights. So yeah, it is very stressful, but there are some good things that come from pullouts.
Yeah, I okay, yeah, because I'm not like I've only had one fight, and I was supposed to fight obviously Blaze, but
Yep.
then that was a pullout, and for me that was stressful because I was planning, I had a game
Hmm.
plan for him. All my promotion around the fight was around him and stuff. Then Antonio Harris, and
Yep.
then Pineda, obviously. So all that it was just a bunch of stuff. So I can't even imagine what a matchmaker slash. What do you like? A part owner in Breakout or hello?
Sorry. Yeah,
Uh,
my
okay.
fault. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, did you hear that or?
Now can you repeat that one more again?
Yeah, I said that was stressful as me as a fighter, so I couldn't
Mhm.
even imagine what it would be for like a matchmaker slash owner slash one of the
Right.
heads
Yeah.
of the business. So let's talk about the previous breakout event, Breakout 5, Judgment Day. When all the fights were getting announced, I was like, holy shit, this some endgame shit. Y'all were
Oh yeah.
getting hella fights, but as we see now with hindsight, a bunch of fights didn't follow through. Some didn't materialize. One of the fights I was excited for, Death Sentence. What happened with that?
Yeah. Death sentence. Yeah. Yeah. Now death sentence. That was a stinger because that kid's poll is insane.
Yeah.
Like his following is undeniable. Anything he does literally goes viral. Every time he fights Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, the UFC
Yeah,
goat,
yeah, he
he
reacts
really
to
reacts
his.
to every one of his fights. So to have him on Breakout, that would have been something like extraordinary. Obviously, unfortunately, didn't happen, which does suck. But you know what I'm saying? We're still in contacts with him. You never
Hey.
know if he can make his debut or when he'll make it, but hopefully sometime in the near future.
Yeah, that breakout event, I remember, I'm pretty sure it was my first breakout event that I watched like live in the moment because usually I watch it like the day after when all the fights
Right.
are posted. But I was like, I'm actually hyped for this fight, for the whole card actually. And
Hmm.
it was pretty much royalty versus breakout for the top
Yeah.
fights. And can you tell me, was there like that? Well, obviously, we've seen the clip where you, the fight that
Yeah.
happened in the house. But what? How about the energy on fight day? Was it like you ready for war? Or like how was it?
Yeah, man. The Breakout '05 in itself was just a movie. Like I really can't explain that to people enough. Just the feels, the environment, everybody. Like you said, it was like everybody was ready for war. You know what I mean? Any wrong move, wrong word, wrong look, and fire was right there going. So for it to happen, and obviously unfortunate things happened on the night. We lost a couple of fights on the night. But I think regardless, especially with the buildup that was so personal with the breakout of royalty, I think with the fights that did happen and take place, with that buildup to it, just made everything better. The feels like every fight felt like a big fight. Like there was no fight on there that was like, okay, let me go take a piss break or something. You know what I mean? Everything was you have to watch TV.
Yeah,
So
man.
I definitely think build up like that played a huge factor into the feels, and for the people like you at home that watched it, that was just so eager to be like, yo, I have to see this.
Yeah, man. I thought I would never catch myself like being that tuned into
Mhm.
to a SCB card, but hey, man, I was locked in because I think the main factor for if what for me was that it was with people that I shared a locker room with, and
Mhm.
obviously a dude I fought against, so I
Yep.
was like locked in. So out of all the results that night, what surprised you the most?
Ooh, definitely the biggest surprise was probably JDP stopping Jose in the first 45 seconds. JDP was a new guy into the scene. Nobody knew anything about him. He had one fight well, I guess two fight previous, but one within the scene where he looked good, but not that good. Like he wasn't no world breaker or nothing. And he went against Jose on short notice, and Jose he's been a staple in this scene since Breakout 1. He's been get back boxing champion, undefeated for he held the belt for I think 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
Like just constantly whooping ass, like back to back to back. So to see him come in and get not only beat but stopped in the first round and put down twice like that was insane. Like like nothing nothing I would have expected at all. So I think for the outcomes of the fight, I think JDP versus Jose was definitely the shocker of the night.
Yeah, the thing that caught me off guard was like obviously I think I only watched like one or two Jose's fights before
Mm-hmm.
that, and I saw JDP's fight, and him and Garza were going back and forth, so I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Garza just got like finished, and JDP's facing a pound per pound like great right here. So I was like, it's gonna be a close fight. But to see that, I remember I was literally like, what the fuck, like holy shit.
Yeah, no, that's it. I don't think there's a single person in that room on fight day, even JDP's corner, who expected that at all.
Yeah. Another thing that that I want to ask you about that fight night, Pat's victory. How did that
Mm.
feel?
Yeah, whenever Pat wins, it feels like everybody wins. Like
Yeah.
that kid is so loved by the community and everyone involved with it, just because of how much of a genuine and good guy he is. Like such a great guy. He's the reason why everybody's even in this scene realistically. Because without him traveling to Texas to fight Trey 3 4 years ago, none of
This
this
scene
Twitter
wouldn't be
boxing
here.
breakup wouldn't exist. Nothing would have existed at this point. So to see him, work so hard for so long and finally reach the mountain that he's been working for and becoming champion and beating the guy who was he was put in there to take everything away from Pat.
Preying on
The
his
whole
downfall
build
damn
he
near.
was telling Pat like, yo, you're the old guy, I'm the new guy, I'm coming to take everything you worked for. This is my scene now. Thanks, buddy, but go enjoy retirement, right? But Pat overcame everything. I seen it firsthand. A lot of very 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 close friends with Pat. Even on fight, they were telling him, "Bro, you're gonna lose. Like Augustin's gonna beat you." Da 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 da. So to see him, beat Augustin in the style that he did for his like deceased grandfather who passed right shortly before that fight. Like I said, a literal movie. Like can't put
Yeah.
in any other words.
I remember watching the fight, and obviously I was a little biased. I was Team Augustine because he's the one
Hmm.
that introduced me to the scene. So I was like, but I fucked with Pat too. So I was like,
Yeah.
uh, and then they were going back and forth. But then I forgot. I think it was at towards the end of the second round. You could see Pat was started overtaking him with his pressure.
Yeah.
And then right when the ref stopped the fight, I was like, "Oh shit!" And he had Augustine leaking, so
Hmm.
just all that. And the next fight after was it the next fight? Was your fight the next one, right? Right after
Yeah.
that?
My fight was right after
Yeah.
Pat.
Did you expect that from yourself?
Um. Yes, yes, but no. So the whole time I was saying like I wanted to go 5 rounds. I wanted to showcase good boxing, but as the fight got closer and closer, reality kind of sit for me, and the whole time I was saying in promo, but it finally hit me that like all respect to Intrepid, but no matter what he wanted to do, whether it was box or brawl, I was gonna win no matter what. Because at that time, I don't know now, but at that time he just wasn't with me. So that's why in the first like when the bell first rung, I was very calm, composed. I jabbed into the gut, and then right then I was like, okay, pressure. And you see in the corner, I try to
Yeah.
go a little ham, but then I remembered to myself, I was like, just what we worked on the whole time, composure, because composure is gonna win you the fight, especially against someone like Intrepid, who when he gets punched, we seen it in the Mark fight, he's just straight pressure too.
Yeah.
So calm and composure was the key in that fight. That's something I kept in the back of my mind. And I expected the stoppage. I just didn't expect it to go the way it did. Me dropping him twice. It's the first time I ever put somebody on the canvas. I got to showcase composure, good boxing, decent footwork, and power all within the same fight, and it only went 1 round. So
Yeah. For me, I know the JDP fight. Like, I guess in the moment I was more excited, but your fight honestly surprised me because I was like, because from your previous fight against Iza, y'all just ran
mhm.
to the middle, straight haymakers and shit. But when I saw you come out with the southpaw, the jab out, I was like, oh shit, this is a new Lezra. He might be dangerous. And
Yeah.
then you
Yes,
knocked
sir.
him down, and then I was like, oh shit. And then you won. I was like, what? I was happy for you, but I was also pissed because I had this narrative going around. I was like, Lesnar can't beat an actual heavyweight. And then when he
Yeah.
did it, I remember I was streaming too. I said, fucking intrepid, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I remember back in the day, my introduction to the scene was me calling you out. Hella people were
Yes, sir.
calling you out. And what was your reaction when you just seen some random Twitter guy with like 40 followers calling you out?
So I mean, funny enough, that's how a lot of these guys got into this. Like Intrepid, he got into the
He
scene
called
that
you out,
exact
yeah.
same way. He was shit talking me. So I mean, I'm not. I don't take it really. God, hold on, keep getting these phone calls. My fault. You can still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I so yeah. So I mean, I've been getting caught out by, I guess, quote unquote randoms since I've joined the scene. But I never really take anything to heart. You know, I don't really take anything too personal because at the end of the day, y'all are just trying to get into the scene,
Yeah,
trying to get your foot in, and the best way to do that is by calling
calling
out some of
people
the
out.
top guys. So if people see me as a top guy, then I should expect to get all these call outs, and I just use that. Like I try to put no personal into business.
Mm,
So that's why, like, whenever people like you or Intrepid or Isa, like when they first call me out when they first run the scene, I have no issue putting platforming y'all, putting you on the card, see what y'all do, because I'm interested in too. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just because people don't got a name at that moment, don't mean I'm not interested in the fight. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So that's why I always try to play fair. I try not to get my feelings too hurt, especially when it comes to Twitter, because at the end of the day, it is just Twitter.
Twitter, yeah.
So when people call me out, I kind of just wash my hands from it. I let it be. I might talk a little bit of shit back. But at the end of the day, I'm all doing that just to see what the other person can offer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they can give me a run for my money and promo and shit talk, then that definitely makes the fight a lot more interesting in my eyes, because there's really nobody in the scene that can really hang with me in the verbal back and forths or anything, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So 40 followers or 4,000 followers, as long as you come with something on the plate to prove or show worth, your mother's favorite fighter is always here for it. So
Yes, sir. Because I remember at the time, I didn't know like you were getting called out like that. I didn't even know Breakout existed yet. I just seen like I'm gonna be honest with you because why not?
of course.
I was like, who the fuck is this Jake Paul dick writer? Let me call him out
Yes, sir.
real quick. And then we obviously went back and forth. You're like, bro, who are you? Blah blah blah. Then I remember it was the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. You're
Mhm.
and I quote tweeted you saying Ryan would win. I was like, bro, if Devin don't win, I'll stop calling you out. And
Yeah.
then I was like, what the fuck? And then that's the only reason I stopped calling you out. But obviously, the more content you put out, the more I get to see you like grow in the scene and everything. Like I honestly respect you, bro, because
Of course.
you're a businessman, and now you're on CFL, man. So you
Yes, sir. Yes,
like
sir.
why hate on someone's successing?
Hey, man. At the end of the day, that's what comes with the sport, man.
Yeah,
Whenever anybody's on the come, I mean, I can do the same thing. People on the come up, bro. Sometimes all you can do is just talk a little bit of shit. You know what I mean?
yeah. So did I remember the first time you offered me to fight on Breakout? I said, "Oh shit!" I texted my group chat because I think I was gonna fight on the Breakout of I forgot which one. I think it was Breakout 4. You offered
Yeah,
me
I think it was '04.
yeah
Yeah,
to be the mystery opponent. So
yeah.
let's say I didn't get injured and everything. I accepted the fight. Would I have ended up fighting Waffle?
hmm Yeah,
Man,
Waffle was the mystery opponent. Yeah, he was gonna be the one fighting.
uh bro, because I remember after I was like, I'm not gonna get this Lezra fight. Let me call out the other dude, Waffle. I didn't even know y'all were friends, so I was like, it's just a coincidence. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, and but I've been hearing through the grapevine, Stacks versus Waffle is a fight to make.
I can say I've heard through the grapevine that people do want to see Waffle versus Stack. So
Yeah, man,
it's definitely a fight we can make happen in the near
because we
future.
like similar, but we damn near build wise identical. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, sir.
that would be an interesting fight because I know Waffle don't fight pussy. He'll
Yeah.
be there to throw, and I would be down to throw. So, and I
Yes,
feel like
sir.
our build up would be crazy too. So yeah.
Yeah, Waffle needs somebody that's gonna give him that little push in the promotion aspect. So I definitely think y'all. I think we've talked about this for a minute. I think the fight between you and Waffle is definitely a fight to make for sure.
Hey, chat, y'all heard that? When this fully recovered, I'll be back.
Yes,
But
sir.
Breakout Six Bushido, if I'm
Yes,
pronouncing
sir.
that right. You said, or the Breakout account, I'm not sure what account said it, but they say this is going to be the best breakout card yet. And y'all already
Yes.
announced some fights and it looks big. Obviously, we got the double main event. How how do you decide that it's going to be a double main event, just not a main and co-main?
Right. So the original plan was to have Vot5 versus. It was supposed to be JMMA, who's a big UFC YouTuber. Those two were supposed to main event, and because that Vot5 was the main event, we decided to go to Baltimore, his hometown, because he fought in Baltimore a few months prior on the last Sword 7 event, and his ticket sales were beautiful. So he was like, might as well capitalize off that and off his draw in person, and put an event in his hometown. So he was main event slided for months. Main event. Obviously, his opponent pulled out a couple weeks ago, and we set him up with the next best deal, which was the number 2 guy in his weight class, Pascal Logic, who also has a decent YouTube following of 40K followers, and he's very well known within the KSI community. So that's both YouTube and Twitter communities that we can grow for. And so the in-person sales is the reason why Vot5's main event. And then the fight between DDK and Zavi is literally one of, if not the biggest US versus UK fight you can
Yeah.
make in the scene, if not the biggest fight you can make in the scene in general. So with a fight like that, we kind of felt like it was a bit disrespectful to not have them as a main event title. Now, obviously, on the night of the fights, they will be the second fight, so they will be the co-main.
Yeah, the co-main,
But it's only right for them to have, like, the biggest fight in the scene has to be a main event title, but the biggest fight in person, which is VOD fight, in our opinion, also has to be main event. So we figure it's the best of both worlds: in person ticket sales, main event for VOD fight, and then online viewership sales for DDK and Zavi, so also main event. So basically, just copied Misfits and was like, yo, double main event.
yeah,
It only makes sense in my opinion.
yeah. Especially after what happened to DDK in the last
Mm-hmm.
event, he obviously deserves that. And him being obviously, I can't confidently say this, the pound for pound best heavyweight boxer in
Mm-hmm.
the scene. And he's definitely, even though he's only 2-0, he deserves this.
Oh yeah, for sure. DDK's probably been one of the most consistent people since joining the scene when it comes to content and promo in itself. I'd say DDK's probably right under me when it comes to promo. He's the only other person in the scene who really keeps up the verbal back and forths and stuff like I do. We kind of do the same shit, except for I'm more malicious. Like I attack personal. I go family. He keeps it more surface level about you, your skills, your personality. But it's still the same shit talk regardless. But yeah, I think for DDK, he definitely deserved a big fight. Obviously, he had a double champ fight on Breakout 05 with Pineda. Like you said, it unfortunately didn't happen. So yeah, next best thing is just to give him the biggest fight of his career right out the gate. Breakout 06, DDK versus Avi.
All right. And I got another question about the. It's more of a hypothetical question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say hypothetically injury never happened. I beat Pineda. Would I have got offered DDK
Uh,
or is
beat Pineda. Yeah. So there was yeah, probably you was definitely one of the options, because that's kind of what was, because a lot of people was calling for DDK versus Zavi. I mean, not Zavi, DDK versus Pineda before you and Pineda fought. But me and DDK talked and was like, we're gonna wait until Pineda fights, and then if he wins, then we take him. But obviously, if not, then we'll probably either go you or somebody else. Like yeah, there was 3 names. I forgot the other one, but it was you, Pineda, and somebody else. And yeah, it just basically came down to who won that fight. You was obviously winning the fight until your injury. So we was pretty. It was like, damn, bro, DDK versus Stacks. Da 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 da. But yeah,
Yeah.
injury happened, and it was like, all right. So the plan is DDK versus Pineda. But yeah, you was definitely in contention. You probably would have got that call if you wasn't hurt.
Yeah, man. That injury, I could have had a Waffle and DDK fight under
Yeah,
my
fact.
belt. But because, like, I keep it 100 about that fight. Like, congrats to Pineda. He won the fight, but I was winning. I personally think I was winning. Everyone thought I was winning. And the cards, when I checked the cards after the fight, after the whole event, they had me up both rounds, 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So, and I got a question for you. Were you one of the people that thought I was faking an injury?
No, I don't know. I don't think I was. I was pretty confident that you got hurt, but I was just upset about it in general because like, damn, bro, like Stacks was winning it. He was winning it. I think at first when I first watched it, I thought you maybe just gassed and wanted to find a way out. But once I seen you reaching your shoulder and shit, and I was like, okay, he's hurt. You know what I mean? So there's really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, crazy thing about that I've because I didn't know until after the fight that I was going in as a massive underdog.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I didn't know Pineda because I didn't get offered the Pineda fight I think till like 2 weeks before the event because
Damn.
before it was Blaze and then Antonio Harris,
Yeah.
and so like I was like, damn. So and I was watching film on that on his fight against Trey religiously, and that's why I was trying to fight on the inside with pressure, and that's why I was
Mm-hmm.
throwing overhands as well. Because I don't know if you remember from the Trey fight, Trey caught him with the overhand,
Yeah. Wobbled
and
him.
yeah, wobbled
Yeah.
him. So that was my plan. And the funny thing is, the big overhand I landed in the first round was I'm pretty sure that's the one that first tore my shoulder because I remember I
Damn.
felt a like a zap go down my arm and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? But adrenaline was still in my body, and I remember I sat in my corner after the first round. My corner was like, good shit, blah blah, and I was like, not gonna lie, I think I fucked my shoulder. And they were like, can you still fight? I was like, ah, shit, I'm gonna try to. And then
Right.
the ref obviously noticed I couldn't pick up my arm no more, stopped it, but that's in the
It
past.
was an unfortunate injury because, like, I mean, I think everyone can agree you definitely was winning that fight
Yeah.
up until that point.
So I'm obviously disappointed in the result, but I'm not like trip over it because I knew in
Mm-hmm.
my mind like it's not like I got outboxed. It's not like I got my ass
Exactly.
whooped. It's just but I'm glad for it because I remember I prayed with my team in the locker room before and my friend. Um, he leads like a prayer group, so I was like, "Can you pray over us real quick?" And I remember the last line of the prayer was like, "Let Carlos show out for everyone and show the best of his abilities and open doors for him." And I remember I was like, "I bet." And the prayer was answered. I showed out the best of my abilities, and right after that fight, funny enough, I got offered Big Sam twice.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you know him. He fought on CFL. The Black Italian Stallion. I got offered him.
Mm.
Not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
I've been offered the Black Italian Stallion too many times. I ain't gonna lie, too
Yeah,
many.
not gonna lie. I'm glad because I remember I wanted to be on CFL, but not gonna lie, not against him.
Yeah, oh, but yo,
I'm gonna be
listen.
pussy. I don't care. Not against
Yo,
him.
I have quite literally declined a Black Italian Stallion about 12 times. Because every time since CFL won, every fight offer they gave me was Black Italian Stallion, and I was like, no, I want Big Sam.
Yeah.
No, I don't want him. So I kept pushing and waiting for it, and I eventually got what I wanted. But it seems like Black Italian Stallion is like their gatekeeper or something, bro. Because they push him for everybody.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he got an injury the last fight,
Mm-hmm.
so prayers up to him. But
Yes, sir.
so Lezra Gomez, this interview, I'm surprised you accepted, but after talking to you, you seem like a genuine guy.
Yes, sir.
At first, I thought I was just gonna be left on red or some shit, but obviously, I know you're a busy guy with all the events, training for the biggest fight of your career so far.
Yes, sir.
So, you have anything you want to say to the people? Or?
Man, I'll leave people off with this. April 26th, Nashville, Tennessee, in the Texas Troubadour Theater. Lezra Gomez versus Big Sam, the biggest fight in the community. 2 years in the making. Your mother's favorite versus Samuel Jones Jr. Get your tickets or pay-per-view now at tkotix.com/YMFF. And make sure y'all tune in to see me become victorious and get that Misfits contract. Your mother's favorite fighter.
All right, guys. Well, it's been your boy Stacks A, your mother's favorite fighter, Lezra Gomez, behind the raps, and peace.
Everyone subscribe to Stacks right now.